Hello and welcome to another interesting episode of Career and Trainings right here on Afia TV, only on Afia TV, DSTV channel 254 and GoTV channel 17. On socials, we are at Afia TV Official. I am Ifeoma Ajumobi, Ife Melody, your host. Career training comes up every Tuesday by 3:30 p.m. and this is where we bring you various professionals, experts from different fields and careers to share insights on what it takes to excel and be exceptional in these careers. And today I'm excited about our topic. We will be looking at education, a life transformer. That is talking about the power of education. And I have an educationist right here in the studio with me, a first-time guest on my show, and yes, I will say a first-time guest on Afia TV, and somebody I might also just call an Nuku Mongo. Yes, but you run a university and you are at the helm of affairs of a university, the doyen of education, information, trainings, and all of that. I think you are an Nukumo. I'm talking about no other person but Sir Chinedu Ani, the Chancellor of Coal City University right here in the city of Enugu, Nigeria. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How do you feel being on TV?
It's good.
Right here in the city of Enugu, Alibo, to the world.
Yeah, I feel so good.
All right.
To be here today.
All right.
To be able to.
Great to have you. We will be talking about the power of education, and that is something you have experienced and you are still experiencing based on what you do. But just before we go there, I want us to look at this career tip. We have a career tip right now. Let's have it. Our career tip says, actual learning happens in the field when you start practicing. Actual learning happens in the field when you start practicing. What would you say about that? Do you connect with it or agree with it?
Oh yeah, I do agree with it.
Okay.
Because, most of the time they say people learn on the job.
Yes.
So you go to school, you're taught something, and when you begin to practice it, that is actually when you begin to put into practice, and you learn as you do that. So I completely agree with it.
All right.
Yeah.
And every day, people are learning from your platform. But before we go into that, how did this journey all start? How did you find yourself in the education sector?
Okay. Oh, thank you, Ife. Sometime in 2010, I was invited by an uncle of mine, very professor of Ani, late. Because when I graduated from the same town, Enugu, in 1996, I left shores, to do other things. But in 2010, he invited me to join him in this business, if I may call it business.
Business of education.
Education,
yep.
Yes. So he invited me to join him in this business. And, the first time he told me about it, I didn't understand it because really and truly, when I left school, I first of all went to South Africa in 1997, lived in South Africa till 2004, relocated to the UK. I was working, doing other things, and never been in this space, in this industry. But when he came and said, Chinedu, you know what, this is a family business, and I'm getting old, and I need somebody to come and begin to partner with me, somebody. And there was something he said. He said to me that success without a successor is complete failure. So for him, if he doesn't have somebody to take over after him, he must have failed. And from there, it didn't make any meaning to me at that first point. It didn't make any meaning actually. But, I consulted, close family members, and, they insisted that I go and join him and see see at least what he's doing and see if it's something that I can do. So, the day I came in and when I came to his office, to his house, he was virtually living in that school at that point called African Thinkers College of Education. When I came, a letter was ready for me, and he said, that I've become the director of how he coined it at that point, and that they should go and give me an office. So I was surprised when the then registrar of the institution took me to one office, and I realized that this office is the office that I come to see him when I come back, and that was his office. And when I asked why this is your office, he said, yeah, that we can actually share the same office. I didn't understand where he was going to my uncle at that point, but somehow, not long after that, he became ill and traveled, for his medicals. And when he came back, I remember one day I was at the office, same office. He came back from his medical trip, and he came into my office with the late Justice Ozobu. They both came into my office, and I was, when they came, my secretary came and said, Father is here. I rushed from the normal seat, where the CEO should sit. And when he came into me, he said, no, please sit down. And I said, no, but this is your seat, so you just have to come and sit. He said, no, sit down, I've given it to you, and, I'm just visiting you. I actually came with another strong person, Justice Ozobu. We spoke, and there and there in front of Ozobu, there was something I told him. I said to him, Father, I still can't understand. This big shoe that you've given to me to wear. How do I even begin? What do you even want me to do? He said, no, that the first thing I have to do is to begin to read. That I should read every document that I see. That it will help me, in the industry where I am. And he said something that, has helped me so much. That now that he's around, I should make mistakes. Let him take the responsibility. And when somebody says a thing like that, because I was afraid that I was going to make a lot of mistakes, because it's my first time in the industry. But when he said that, he gave me a lot of courage. That this man is the owner of this, and he has told me to make mistake and he will take responsibility. Just like when you feel that your parents are behind you, tell you to do something, you go ahead and do it without fears.
The confidence.
Oh yeah, so he gave me
beating your chest.
Yeah, so he gave me the confidence, and what I did, even though we are human, we still make mistakes. But I made sure that from that day, I never made huge mistakes that will bring down the business we're doing. And he just said to me, you know what, Chinedu, for you to succeed in any business, you have to see it as your own calling. That once you see it as a calling, you go all out and you'll be able to. And from that day, my mindset changed towards what I'm doing now. So,
and it's quite interesting because from African thinkers, we have the great institute of learning that we have now at the Coal City University.
Yeah.
Now, coming to switching careers, as I will put that, and finding yourself in the education sector, what will you call education? How would you describe education? Having been in this space now for more than 10 years, what would you call education?
Oh yeah, education, we all know it has a simple definition, because education is something that is very common to everybody. People get educated every day, and we have different definitions to education. But the simple is a transfer of knowledge. Either transfer or you're receiving knowledge. That even Oxford Dictionary, defined education as the receiving or giving of education in a systematic way, either in a college or the university.
Okay.
So education is purely, a transfer of knowledge. We said learning how to read and write. Simple definition to it.
Very true.
Yeah.
And we're talking about the power of education. share a bit about this power, especially since you operate in this space.
Power of education
Yeah.
is, I mean, it's not something that you can put value to it. It's something that is beyond. If we begin to talk about it, I mean, the time that we have here won't be enough to do that. So education gives, first of all, is that education will give you the self-independent that you want. It gives, like, if I will say advantages of education, you talk about financial stability, you talk about courage, you talk about
self-awareness.
So it's a whole lot that education, does for our people, for human beings. So when you are educated, you see yourself as equipped. You can actually, without fear, interact with your peers. So that is where that independence comes in. You feel independent when you're educated.
And you can easily operate on the global scale
so you see, education even starts from the day you were born. Because from the day you were born, in fact, our parents, our grandparents, our siblings are our first teachers in life. Because when you're born, they begin to teach you, your name is Chinedu, say my name is Chinedu. You begin to say it. When somebody comes into the house, you say good morning, say good morning. You begin to, as a child, you begin to say that. But what the education does is that it brings the continuity to that informal education, education that you get at home.
Yeah.
So when you go to school, now they will begin to teach you how to write your name, how to write your name, how to do other things. That is where this formal education now will come in. And you can't stop learning till the day you will die. So education is not something that we begin to check or we begin to talk about the quality, what it can do for a human being. I mean, it's a lot. Without education, you're not a human being. So I'll tell you something.
Okay.
Not being educated is like seeing a pretty girl like you take a bath in the morning, wear your nice hair, fix your fingers, wear good shoes, and not wear clothes.
Education.
Yes. Because, once you come out, nobody sees those hairs anymore. Nobody sees those nails. What they will see is your nakedness.
Okay.
So it's like you see somebody, the person is wealthy, they've made money, they're out there. But once you engage them and find out they're not educated, you don't see those wealth anymore. What you begin to see is that nakedness, that person as an illiterate. I don't want to use that word, but it is just like that. So without education, you can't even operate. You feel, the complex. When you say anybody who's not educated, you say the complex follow them anywhere they go. They find it even difficult to interact with peers and onward. But if you see an educated person, they are bold. I mean, it's not everybody that will come here and face the cameras and begin to talk about, a topic. If you think you are not you're not educated. So it's one of the courages that and the boldness that education gives.
How have you seen it transform people, like in the course of what you do?
A lot.
Do you have unique cases?
Oh yes, I will tell you a story about. There's a guy. He's actually a staff of mine now. So when my uncle started the College of Education, which is the Atkoi College of Education. So this guy, my father, because it's a family business, my father was a contractor building the College of Education. So this guy came in as a laborer. But because he was so very small, he wasn't able to meet up with what's happening. You know how it is to mix the concrete, carry the blocks, do all those things. You need to work from morning to evening for you to get paid. And they call it day pay. So this young man was not able to do that. So, in fact, my dad and my uncle, late Father Stan Ani, they observed this small boy trying to do that job of, the big people. But he couldn't because he was very tender. So after that, in the evening, when they were getting paid, in fact, the contractor was shouting at the guy that he wasn't going to pay him full time because he didn't make any impact. So at the end of that day, my uncle called him and said to him, "You're not supposed to be here, you are supposed to be in school." And the young man said, "Yes, I know I'm supposed to be." He's actually from a boy. That yes, I'm supposed to be in school, but my parents don't have the resources to take me through school. And my uncle asked him, "Would you want to be educated?" And he said, "Yes, of course." So from there, he picked him up, took him through secondary training. He wrote his SSCE, he passed it, and came into Atkoi as a college of education. I'm telling you that guy today is a PhD holder. He's an academic doctor. Not just a PhD holder, but a PhD holder in mathematics.
Wow.
In mathematics. He still works with us till date. So if you go to the university, when we acquired that land in Emene, where we built the university, the first staff we got there was a man from the northern Nigeria. They call him Nicodemus. So we employed Nicodemus because that time there was nothing there. So we just had the security house to, he was looking after the empty plot. When we started building, he was there. And till we got the approval to run the university. So when we got the approval, we set up our own school security system because that thing was now bigger than him as a person. So we set up the school security system. But he remained there. Nico actually handles all the equipment, he knows the keys to every, I don't know how he does that. But if you tell Nico, please go and open a physics lab for me, he doesn't put the 2 keys. And the keys are not named or numbered. He will just, I don't know how he does that. He will just open it. So, but what happened, coming to what your question, after a while, someday Nico came to me and said to me, "Oga, I want to get educated." I was shocked. That was the highest shock I've ever, one of the highest shocks I've ever had in my life. A man coming from his area, we call them Aboki here, that their business is just to do the security job and whatnot. So Nico said to me, "I want to get educated." And I said to Nico, "What kind of education do you want?" He said, "Yeah, this is a university. I want to go to university." I said, "But where did he stop?" He said, "No, he just stopped in the junior secondary." I was excited. So when I got home, I called my wife and I said to my wife, "Look at what Nicole told me today. That Nicole told me that he wants to go to university." And my wife, the kind of person that she is, she took it upon herself immediately. And she went to Nicole and found out when Nicole stopped and engaged Nicole in a private SSE lecture, registered WIAC for him, and in one sitting he cleared all his papers.
Wow.
Nicole wrote JAMB and made his JAMB. But something happened. Close to his admission, he came to me again and said, "Oga, I don't want to go to school anymore."
Whoa.
But I was like, "Why, Nicole? Why don't you want to go to school?" He said, "Yeah, because my people say I should come and get married. And I know if I go back to my state and marry, I won't come back.
That'll be the end."
Yes, I won't come back. So, Oga, I want to thank you for, for your mind towards me, you and your whole wife, for, all because you want to take me to school. But now, because I want to get..." I said to Nico, "Is it the tradition that once you get married, you won't come back?" He said, "No, but because, the money that is required for me to get married is huge. So when I go there, I'll be doing small, I'll get a small job to be doing till I complete, and probably after that, I will have to stay with my wife." I said to him, "You know what? I want you go and get married because you want to get married. Tell me how much it will cost you to go and get married, and you bring your wife to this place. I don't want you to..." Because at that point, he's written his JAMB, he's passed JAMB already. We're just waiting for him to be admitted into school. So he said, I told him to go. I gave him money. He went, got
He
married.
took your advice?
Oh yeah, he took the advice because the impediment for him that time was how to bring, even if he brings his wife, where are they going to stay?
Okay.
You understand? Knowing
And he
fully well that
finally got into the
Yeah.
university?
oh, as we speak now, I think because he's on final year.
Okay.
He's living here in Enugu. He's living in the same university with the wife. They have a kid now. He's living there. He's still working with us, and he's going to school.
Wow.
And very soon, I think, because he's going to be a graduate.
All
So
right.
it's one of the reform, wonderful reform that I've seen, during this time of my career.
Wow, that's quite amazing. Our time is almost up. But before we round off, I would want to say, you to give a word of advice to the government concerning paying attention to education. Like, we have seen the power of education, and we know it's a liberating tool for many societies. What if you were to advise government now, what would you tell them to do with regards to education, the educational sector?
Funding.
How do they fund?
Especially the tertiary education. You see what, I will say this,
With the budget and all of that?
Yeah, you see what the governor of Enugu State is doing now with the smart school is doing. It's a wonderful idea. It's a lot of money, but, having a smart school in every community, about 260 communities, that will run into billions and billions of naira. Both, Enugu State have started well by that. So you see, our people go through school. A lot of people, you see a child reading computer science, graduating as a computer science student, but never seen a computer in his life. And they have opportunity to travel out there to probably go and do their masters, and a computer is placed before them. They get confused. But you see, Enugu State has come up with a smart school, where the child from kindergarten will begin to know what a computer is, know what IT is, but it needs a lot of money for that to happen. And that is so it's because I think the administration now feels that knows the importance of education. That is why they are doing that.
All right, thank you very much. Surely, when it's about education, it's an unending discussion, and we will have you again. So, of course,
so if I don't know why you got me for this very short time.
Build up on what we have started. Yeah. Thank you so much for the insights that you have shared.
Thank you, Fee. Thank you very much.
All right, we have been talking about the power of education trainings, which is what usually happen in colleges or institutions of education, and it cannot be overemphasized. We'll keep bringing you more right here on Career and Training. Our guest was Sir Chinedu Ani, the Chancellor of Coal City University. Do have a beautiful day. Join us again next week, Tuesday, by 3:30 p.m. only on Afia TV.